Question 2 says a car travels a distance of 2x plus 13 kilometers at 67.5 kilometers per hour and 5x minus 20 kilometers at 72 kilometers per hour. If the total time for the entire journey is 90 minutes, find the value of x. Looking at this question, first thing you should notice is the unit of time. The unit of time here is 90 minutes. You've been given both speeds in kilometers per hour. So the first trick in this question is this 90 minutes. First thing you're supposed to do, you have to make sure the time is changed from 90 minutes to hours. So we know 60 minutes equals 1 hour. Then we're looking for 90 minutes equals x. You cross multiply and find the value of 90 minutes. That you have 60 times x equals 90 times 1. If you have 60 times x equals 90 times 1 is 90. Since you're looking for x, the value of x, you divide both sides by 60. 60 cancels 60 on the side. X equals 0 cancels 0. 3 here 2, 3 here 3. So we have 3 over 2 hours. Therefore 90 minutes equals 3 over 2 hours. Now that we know 90 minutes is 3 over 2 hours, then let's go back to the question and start writing out the data. So we have a car travels a distance of 2x plus 13 kilometers at 67.5 kilometers per hour. This is the distance and this is the speed. You're very good with physics, or you have a physics understanding, you'll be very good with this question. And that's for the first phase. And 5x minus 20 kilometers at 72 kilometers per hour. This is the second phase. All the question is saying is that for the first distance, which is this distance, it traveled at this speed. Then for the second distance, the car traveled at the second speed. And it says if the total time for the entire journey was 90 minutes, find the value of x. Now the total time for the journey is 90 minutes like we know. So how do we then solve the question? Let's start by writing out the info. You can write phase 1 of the journey. Now the car travels a distance of this, so the d1, we have our first distance, that's d1, is 2x plus 13 as in kilometers. Then the speed for the first phase is s1, which is 67.5 kilometers per hour. Phase 2, d2, is that's the second distance it covered. Second distance it covered was 5x minus 20. So we have 5x minus 20. Then the speed at that point is s2, which is 72 kilometers per hour. Now having this, in physics we have the relationship between speed and distance has to do with time. So we have speed is distance over time. And the way we can solve this question is to note that you have to look for the t1 for this one, that's the t1, and t2 for this one. And from the question we can derive that there are actually at least 2 ways to solve this question, and both methods will be practiced. So with this that we have t1 plus t2 equals tt, that's total time ticking, which is given to us as 90 minutes, and we got it to be 3 over 2 hours. So we can find our t1 from this phase 1 and our t2 from phase 2, then add it together, it should equal to the total time. Then we solve for x. Speed we know is distance over time, and here we are looking for our time. Now we'll make time subject of formula. You can say this is s over 1, then we cross multiply, then you have s times t on this side, that's s times t, then d times 1 equals d times 1. S times t, d times 1 is d. Since we're looking for t, we divide both sides by s. T is d over s. Since t is d over s, now we'll go back to the original data we got from the word problem. For us to calculate our t1, we have t1 equals d1 over s1, as for the time for the first part of the journey is the first distance over s1. Then for the second part, which is this, you have it as t2 equals d2 over s2. Let's do the first one first. So for the first part of the journey, t1 equals 2x plus 13 over our s1 is 67.5. And on the other side we have our T2 equals our D2, which is this, is 5x minus 20 over our S2 is 72. As said earlier, we know T1 plus T2 equals total time. The time for the first part of the journey and second part of the journey adds up to give you the total time. That means our T1 plus our T2 should equals 3 over 2 hours. That's 90 minutes in minutes. So we have it as 2x plus 13 over 67.5 plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. That's total time. This 67.5, you can make it 675 over 10. So we have it as 2x plus 13 over 675 over 10 plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. Since this 675 over 10 was gotten from 67.5, we can take it as 1. Then you have 2x plus 13 divided. You can use the normal dividing sign by this to get this into a normal numerator and denominator fraction. So we have 2x plus 13 divided by, use the dividing sign, 675 over 10 plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. We turn this into multiplication by switching this like we do in normal fraction division. So we have 2x plus 13 times 10 over 675, and on the other side still have your plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. Now this 10 affects 2x and 13 because it's one entity. So we have it 10 into open bracket 2x plus 13 close bracket. It's better you put it in bracket because this 2x plus 13 has all the way been together. So over 675 plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. 5 can go in 10 and 5 can go in 675, so we'll cut it down. You can also choose to open this bracket which is 10, but it's better you cut it to the lowest term so you can work with smaller figures. 5 here, 2, 5 here is 135. On the next line you have 2 into open bracket 2x plus 13 close bracket over 135 plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. You can now open this upper bracket. So we have this 2 multiplies this 2x and also this 13. So we have 2 times 2x will give you 4x, then 2 times 13 will give you 26 over 135 plus 5x minus 20 over 72 equals 3 over 2. You can't cross multiply at this point because they are linked by addition. So we find the LCM of these two. So we have LCM of 135 and 72 as 1080. So we have 1080 divided by 135 will give you 8. So the 8 you get, you multiply it by the numerator, the number above. So you have 8 into open bracket 4x plus 26 close bracket plus on the other side we have 1080 divided by 72. It gives us 15. Then the 15 we get, we multiply it by 5x minus 20. So 15 into open bracket 5x minus 20. No, the 15 affects both of them, equals 3 over 2. We can then choose to open the bracket. So we have 8 times 4x and 8 times 26. 8 times 4x is 32x plus 8 times 26 is 208. On this side then plus 15 times 5x is 75x minus 15 times 20 is 300 over 1080 equals 3 over 2. Next line we collect like terms. We have 32x plus 75x. We take this 32x and this 75x and put them together. Then you have plus 208 minus 300 because this 300 owns this negative sign. Number owns the positive or the negative sign in front of it. So you have plus 208 minus 300 over 1080 equals 3 over 2. These are like terms, so we'll add them together. 32x plus 75x will give us 107x. Then you have plus 208 minus 300. You're owing more than you have, so you get a negative. 300 is bigger than having 208. You can use your calculator to do it. You have minus 92 over 108 equals 3 over 2. At this point, we cross multiply. So we have 107x minus 92 times 2. Then on the other side, you have 1080 times 3. So we have 2 into open bracket 107x minus 92 close bracket equals 3 times 1008. Note this 2 affects the both of them, so you should be careful. This is where your basic algebra is very important. So you have 2 times 107x will give you 214x minus, then you have 2 times 92 will give you 184 equals 3 times 1080 will give you 3240. Since you're looking for x, you take this minus 184 outside to meet its like term. So we have 214x equals 3240 plus 184. 214x equals 3240 plus 184 will give you 3424. We divide both sides by 214. This cancels this. You have your x to be 3424 divided by 214 with your calculator will give you 16. Therefore, the value of our x is 16. We can say x equals 16 kilometers. Another way of solving question 2, since we know our total time is 3 over 2 hours, is that we assume our t1 is y. For example, let's say the total time is 3 hours, and for the first part of the journey, t1, we spent 1 hour. The second part, you know, automatically will be 2 hours. That's 3 hours minus 1 hour will give you 2 hours. Same applies to this. If we make our t1 y, then our t2 will be total time tt minus t1. So our t2 will be 3 over 2. That's the time for this, knowing that 3 over 2 is our total time minus our t1, which is represented by y. So we have t2 as 3 over 2 minus y. Solving the question in this format means we'll be solving a kind of simultaneous equation. With this, we now go to our speed is distance over time for the two phases of the journey. On this side, we have our S1 equals D1 over T1, and on the other side, phase 2, we have S2 equals D2 over T2. For this first phase, we have our S1 as 67.5 equals our D1 is 2x plus 13 over our T1 is y. This should be called equation 1. And for the second phase, we have it as S2, which is 72, equals our D2 is 5x minus 20 over our T2, which is this, is 3 over 2 minus y. We want to make this equation with a fraction, a plain math, so we cross multiply on this side. So we can say 67.5 times y, we cross multiply, then 1 times 2x plus 13. So we have it as 67.5 y, that's times y, equals 1 times anything is that thing, so you have 2x plus 13 on this other side. Then you have this as 72 over 1, that's our equation 2. Our equation 2, we can still write 72 over 1 equals 5x minus 20 over, we can say this is y over 1, then we find the LCM. LCM is 2. We can say 2 into 1, 1 times 3 is 3. Then we have 2 in 1 is 2, 2 times y is 2y we want to break this down into a simple fraction, not the one we have in fraction to a fraction. We have it as 72 over 1 equals 5x minus 20. Now divided by, this is the dividing sign joining the lower fraction, 3 minus 2y over 2. We have 72 over 1 equals 5x minus 20. We can say over 1. Then we're turning the dividing sign, this dividing sign, into multiplication. And so we have it as 2 over 3 minus 2y. We flip the fraction behind. So we have it as 72 over 1 equals 2 into open bracket 5x minus 20 close bracket over 1 times 3 minus 2y. We have it. Anything times 1 is that number. So we have it as 3 minus 2y. Next is we can cross multiply. So we can say 72 times 3 minus 2y on one side. So we have it as this. Then on the other side, we have 1 times 2 into open bracket 5x minus 20. 1 times anything is that thing. So we have it as 2 into open bracket 5x minus 20. We can choose to open the bracket by multiplying 72 by the values and 2 by this, or we can choose to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the 2 to make our work easier or simpler. So if this cancels this, 2 here 1, 2 in 72 is 36. It's allowed in math. You should know all the rules guiding your math by now. So we have 36 into open bracket 3 minus 2y close bracket equals 5x minus 20. We do this 36 affects this 3 and this minus 2y. So we do 36 times 3 will give us 108 minus 36 times 2y will give you 72y equals 5x minus 20. Now, to get things right, the question has asked us to look for x, and it's best to make y subject of formula because we're trying to solve it using simultaneous equation. So we need our y to be the subject of formula, because if we make our x subject of formula, we therefore find y first, then go back to find x. But since we want to find our x as the important one, as the only one they've asked us to find, we have to make y subject of formula, and we don't want our y to be negative. So we'll take this minus 72y out and bring this 5x in and bring this minus 20 in. So we have that as 108 plus 20, because as minus 20 crosses the equals to sign, this equals to sign turns to plus 20. Then these are 5x as a positive sign, since no positive or negative sign is written in front of it. As it goes over the equals to sign, it turns to minus 5x equals 72y, because this minus 72y crosses the equals to sign and becomes plus 72y. So we have it as 108 plus 20 will give us 128 minus 5x equals 72y. Note we are trying to make y the subject of this, so we'll divide both sides by 72. So on this side, 72 cancels 72. We have it as y equals, you can choose to leave your y on this side, but it's best to leave it on this side, on the left. So we have it as equals to 128 minus 5x over 72. So we have 128 minus 5x over 72. Now that we know the value of our y is 128 minus 5x over 72, we can make it our equation 2. We can now substitute equation 2 into equation 1. Going back up, we know this is our equation 1 as 67.5y equals 2x plus 13. So we write it down here, 67.5y equals 2x plus 13. That's our equation 1. We can now substitute equation 2 into equation 1. So since we know the value of our y in equation 2 is this, we substitute it into this. We have it as 67.5 times the value for our y is 128 minus 5x over 72. This is the value for our y equals 2x plus 13. We can say this is over 1. Then we have 67.5 into open bracket 128 minus 5x over 72, because you know you have 1 times 72 equals 2x plus 13. You can make this over 1. You can cross multiply. You have this times 1 and this times this. So we have anything times 1 is that number, so you have 67.5 into open bracket 128 minus 5x close bracket times 1 is still 67.5 into open bracket 128 minus 5x equals, on the other side you have 72 into open bracket 2x plus 13. Note that this 72 not only affects this 2x but affects everything in the numerator. We close our brackets. We can choose to convert this our decimal to fraction if you like. That will be 675 over 10, or leave it this way and solve down. We can open the bracket and say 67.5 times 128. That will give us 8,640 minus, because you have minus 5x times 67.5, which gives us 337.5x equals, on this other side you have 72 times 2x. That will give us 144x plus 72 times 13 is 936. Now we want our x to be positive, so we'll take this minus 337.5x to the other side to make it positive, and take this plus 936 to the other side. So we have 8,640 minus 936 equals, we take this plus 936 turns to minus 936 when it crosses the equals sign. So we have 144x, then this minus 337.5x crosses the equals to sign and turns to plus. So we have plus 337.5x. 8,640 minus 936 equals 7,704. On the other side equals to 144x plus 337.5x. With your calculator you had 144 plus 337.5 with your calculator. Just writing one of the x's. Then you have it as 481.5. Since you're looking for the value of x, you divide both sides by 481.5. This cancels this. The value for the x is 7,704 with our calculator divided by 481.5 will give us 16. Either way, we have our x as 16 km, that's 16 kilometers.